What is your American dream?
My American dream is for everyone to just be equal, like no matter your skin color, gender, sexuality. Yeah, I just want everyone to be equal so that everybody can be happy and there's no violence.
My American dream was just to be able to attend school and professionally and, being recognized as a chef.
Fighting for other people, since I know that I'm very privileged in being a white woman in the United States. It sucks. I do have that power in the States, which shouldn't be possible, but it is. So I really want to just do my part today at least and just stand up for other people that aren't like me.
Peace, love, and happiness worldwide.
I just want to live in an America where me and my 2 cousins can be safe and don't have to get judged by the color of our skin.
My American dream would be that everyone gets treated the same, no matter what their race, culture, creed, or sexual orientation. Everyone gets treated the same. By the police officers, by the politicians, by every citizen. Everyone gets treated the same.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
I'm tired. Sam, can you take over the phones for me for a few minutes?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Hello, Spar Bernstein. How can I help you? It's 225 Broadway, 5th floor. 5. Cinco. Sink. 5. Get it? Jeez, people just don't listen. Ow! Hello? I didn't see you there. Haha. Well, in case you missed yesterday's episode of Bradshaw Live, David Moreno, criminal attorney extraordinaire, came on and talked to us about a person he was able to help in his sexual assault trial. And then Carlos Lopes came on to discuss his immigration story from Brazil, his experience being DACA, and how he's a student who's also running his own media production company. Amazing. What's on today's show? Let's watch. Happy Friday, Bradshaw Live Squad!
Hey, Sam, do you know where Brad went?
Oh, sure, Alan. He went that way. All you have to do is go left, and then left again, and you'll find him.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sure. At your service. Okay, I just made that up. That wasn't true at all, but I'm sure he'll find Brad.
Sam's getting better at these every day.
Really funny.
Sam the groundhog getting better at his craft.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or is it her craft? Who knows?
Ooh, dum.
Who is Sam? All right, welcome everybody. This is Bradshaw Live, and it is a Friday evening. We are live, and right now our lines are open. We have 2 people on hold with their waiting to get their immigration questions answered by me. I'm going to be answering them all within a few minutes. So if you call right now, 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. I promise you that I will be answering every person who calls that number. I will answer their immigration question if we are here till midnight, and Belgium Kim cannot go out with her mother. Belgium Kim's mother, entire family is in the next room waiting to go out right after the show.
Yeah, it's Mom's birthday.
It's Mom's birthday, and I told Belgium Kim, no, sorry. There will be no Mom's birthday if we have too many questions to answer. We will have to sit here and wait and answer. And Mom's birthday will just have to wait.
And you know what? She'll be okay with that.
She'll be okay with that.
I think that she knows that's how devoted we are to people at Bradshaw Live.
All right, so the telephone number to call is 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And, of course, if you are watching us on Facebook, which is the only place in the world where you could be watching us. You can't be watching us anywhere else. No. But if you're watching us on Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein or on Bradshaw Live, and you are interested in watching us on a regular basis, and you want Mark Zuckerberg to notify you when we're on, which is every day, Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 7:30, the best way to be notified that we're on is to follow and like Bradshaw Live, or follow and like Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein, whichever page you like better. The personalities of the Bradshaw Live page and the Spar and Bernstein page seem to be diverging a little bit. Seems to be a a bit of a different personality, but certainly on the law. Oh, look at that! Ask me a question. There we go. Very fancy. One of our new visual surprises right there.
You promised us yesterday.
That I promised yesterday that we didn't get it. But hello to everybody right now, including Christy Consali, Nezzy Wants More, Beverly Thompson, Thanda Keller, Rob, Monica Stone, Willie Williams, Lisa Bling Rose, Beverly Thompson. Hello, Dawn Harriet.
Angie Angel just came on.
Yep. Who else just came on there? Doris Bernard.
Yeah.
Hello, Doris. And of course on Bradshaw Live, a smaller audience, but very vocal audience of Dionne Watson, Charlotte Harrison, Jella. How are you? Smiley Smith. Patrona Collins, Tamika Nelson, never misses a show, I know that.
Never.
Dionne Watson, Tanisha McNair, Brenda Norden, hello. Jeff Bosey, he missed one show, but who's counting? Cheryl Blake, Veronica Malcolm, Barbara Lord, Tanisha McNabb, hello.
Khalif Cole is a new name. Welcome, Khalif.
Okay, Khalif. Tell us, Khalif, how you found out about us.
Yes.
What person told you that shared on the page?
That's true.
Right?
Who
I bet
is
you
responsible
Khalif.
for you,
right,
Khalif?
let's find out because we want whoever's responsible for Khalif will get a special.
Who claims Khalif?
We'll get a special something. I don't know what yet. We got to come up with that. Carrie Ann Wallace, hello, and everybody else. Barbara Lord, Christy. I said Christy like 100 times already. Angie Angel, Tricus Taylor, former known as Vakisha Taylor. Barbara Lord, the former Vakisha Taylor. Hello. Former Cheryl Blake.
Khalif found us on YouTube.
Khalif found us on YouTube. So that means nobody
referred him. We
him.
referred him.
By the way, I also have to give a big shout out and congratulations to our friend, our buddy, our really good friend here at the Bradshaw Live, Hector Barajas. You may remember him. He was one of our deported military vets who now came back and obtained his U.S. citizenship. He obtained his U.S. citizenship today. So on behalf of myself, the entire Bradshaw Live, congratulations, Hector Barajas. I saw him on CNN.
Oh, he was amazing.
Yep, he was on CNN. There he is. And CNN was and his family and CNN was broadcasting this. And I go, ha! CNN broadcasting this. We had Hector Barajas from months ago. Let's watch. Maybe if we were able to watch, my home would be. What are you going to do? What's the first thing you're going to do when you cross over?
Thank God.
Besides smell the air, I guess it's the same air in Mexico. It's no different. But what are you gonna do?
I'm going to thank God because my faith is growing, but also, I can't wait to be with my daughter and hug her. And then as far as like everybody's asking me like, what are you gonna, what do you miss? And food, like. You'd be surprised, Taco Bell, Benihana rice.
What Taco Bell? You've been in Mexico. Aren't you tired of Mexican food? I understand Benihana, but Taco Bell? That's funny. But that's what you want. You miss Taco Bell. All right, you want your burritos. All right. You see, that's the difference between Bradshaw Live and CNN.
Yeah.
CNN is there at the naturalization ceremony, which of course we're very happy about.
Beautiful.
We're going to be at Taco Bell with Hector Barajas. Watching him eat his first burrito back in the United States. That's the difference. There lies the difference.
See, it's the commitment to the family.
That's correct. All right, 1-800-529-5465. Please call. We have 3 people on hold. And then every time somebody calls to ask their immigration question, I see 4, you get tired of holding for 2 or 3 minutes. I promise you I'm going to get to everybody if you call right now, 1-800-529-5465. Don't hang the phone up. Trump, they're moving forward, Mueller. I saw it on NBC is reporting that Donald Trump will no longer be meeting with Mueller. That means that Mueller will not have an opportunity to interview him. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the Trump attorneys believe that Trump could slip up and perhaps put himself in jeopardy by talking to Mueller. Right. So he's taking what most criminal defense our criminal defense clients, our advice to criminal defense clients is don't say anything and make them prove it.
Absolutely.
Because anything you say can and will be used against you. We say that all the time. So Trump has decided not to talk now, and the Mueller team is moving forward. They expect, at least according to NBC, nobody knows for sure, but at least according to NBC, they say that Mueller will be done with his investigation by the summer. I hope so. He will then be sending a confidential report to Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein this summer. Yep, there he is, Mr. Orange Smuggy Smug. And then Rosenstein will determine whether or not to release it to the public or release it in parts to the Republic. To the Republic.
To the
Republic and to the public, to both.
I always
And by the way, there's a lot going on today, which, you know, Cohen is under major investigation. Apparently there was a Republican donor that Cohen paid, impregnated a different Playboy playmate than the one that's embroiled with Donald Trump. There's Cohen, and this guy, I forgot his name, but maybe Jill can tell me in my ear. This guy had Michael Cohen pay $1.6 million to the Playboy playmate. They claim it was just because he felt bad for her for impregnating her and wanted to take care of her. But right after she got $1.6 million, she had an abortion. So some people are saying that it was $1.6 million for an abortion.
Right.
This coming from one of the one of the major donors to the Republican Party. And what does the Republican Party stand for? They are no abortion.
None.
It's only no abortion except when it's your own family and your own life at stake.
Right.
No, it wasn't Elliot Brady. It was somebody else. But it's all over the place. I forgot his name, but
it wasn't Trump. That was.
It was not Trump.
Okay.
All we know is that the doorman says, no, it's not David Dennison. It was. All I know is that Trump. He was a hedge fund guy. The guy who paid the $1.6 million. It was in the news today. But we know that the doorman from Trump World Tower, I got to make sure that we say which one. Trump World Tower is the one on First Avenue. Says that he impregnated the housekeeper. And and that was the $30,000. Barron has a half brother or sister walking around somewhere.
That's
Barron, and of course Ivanka does as well.
So wait, does that mean that Michael Cohen is just going around paying people to abort or keep silent on the children?
That seems to be the news. And then what happened about an hour before we got on the air is that Michael Cohen's lawyers went into federal court to file an injunction to have the government not be able to use or look at anything that was taken out of his offices. The government has responded to Michael Cohen's injunction request, saying, number one, it was already approved by a judge.
Right, the warrant.
And number two, and this is apparently in the news in the last couple of minutes, right before we, it's possible, Jill, I'm not sure the name of the person anymore. She's giving me like 100 names in my ear. I don't remember the guy's name. So, but right a few minutes beforehand, the government released their opposition to the injunction, and they said in all of the material that was obtained from Michael Cohen's office, there was absolutely no legal work actually done, no real emails between him and Donald Trump that had any legal basis or legal work attached to it. So basically they're saying he just happens to have a law degree.
Right, but he's a henchman with a law degree.
He's a henchman. Well, that's what they're saying. He's a henchman with a law degree, but he's not practicing law. So what attorney-client privilege is there anyway?
Oh, it's Elliot Brody. Jill's very first thing was right. I just pulled up the New York Times.
It is Elliot Brady.
Broidy. Broidy.
Right.
Oof, okay. RNC official. That gets juicy.
All right. So Pennsylvania, besides Bill Cosby trial, you got to watch out for something else there in Pennsylvania.
Ooh, what's going on?
The statistics just came out that Pennsylvania has the largest amount of arrests of undocumented immigrants anywhere in the United States.
Whoa.
Right. In 2017, the Pennsylvania ICE office arrested more undocumented immigrants without criminal convictions, just being here out of status.
Just they're here, right?
Than any of the other 23 ICE offices in the country. It's striking, given that the Pennsylvania undocumented population ranks 16th in the country. And the ICE office arrests more immigrants without criminal convictions. 64% of the ICE arrests in Pennsylvania were immigrants who are out of status no criminal records whatsoever.
Oh my God.
And
That's
apparently ICE is working. I would not have guessed that, by the way.
No, neither was I.
I mean, in my practice, I see a lot of people getting arrested
from Pennsylvania.
But I never realized until I saw the statistic that Pennsylvania is the #1 place to be arrested for somebody who is out of status. It was actually shocking to me.
That is.
And apparently ICE is working closely with local law enforcement in Pennsylvania, and they're detaining immigrants they suspect being out of status simply at traffic stops, and there's a lot of checkpoints. Traffic checkpoints.
So it's like, hey, you look like you're out of status? What does a person who look like they're out of status
Come on, Kim.
look like?
Obviously, they have brown skin or different eyes than a European. Of course, that's what you would look like, right?
Obviously.
Right. I mean, come on.
Right. Duh.
Duh.
Crazy Kim.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, man. That is.
So be careful there in Pennsylvania. President Trump also today, he pardoned Scooter Libby. He is the guy who was sentenced to 30 months in prison. He worked for George W. Bush.
Right.
And he was embroiled in what did he do? He tried to cover up a CIA. Oh, I know what he did.
Right?
There was a CIA agent who was undercover.
Yeah.
And he blew the person's cover intentionally as to get political payback against this person, and then put the CIA agent in danger. So for leaking a government secret, he was sentenced to 30 months in prison.
Right.
Donald Trump pardoned him today not because Scooter Libby's a great American.
Why?
No, he didn't do it because Scooter Libby's a great American.
He's not even in jail or anything,
He's
right?
not in jail anymore, Scooter Libby. And he didn't pardon him because he felt that there was some sort of injustice. There's Comey.
Right.
There's Comey with Donald Trump.
Right.
Let me tell you why Donald Trump, his words.
Yes.
In Donald Trump's words, this is why he pardoned this criminal.
Okay.
I don't know Mr. Libby. Never met him.
That's a great start.
But for years I've heard that he's been treated unfairly.
That was it?
That's it.
You hear that someone is treated unfairly at dinner parties, and then you
and then you gave a pardon. Let me tell you something, Donald. There are about 50 million people in America who are minorities and immigrants who are being treated unfairly. Why don't you have that discussion at your dinner table, Donald? Holy cow!
I've never
in my life.
But Comey was related to that somehow, wasn't he?
Yeah. How is he related? Let's see. Comey. Okay, let's put Comey back up a second there. All right. So there's a relationship here with Comey now.
Because
so Comey, this is the guy who was fired as the FBI agent last year by Trump, and he just wrote a book. The FBI agent Comey, who, by the way, was a Republican.
Right.
And he called Trump in his book unethical and untethered to the truth. Sounds pretty right to me.
Right.
So the Justice Department official said today that Libby did not have a pardon application even pending. A process that requires an FBI background check. Trump just decided to do it. He also just the same thing to Joe Arpaio. Also just decided to do it. So what is the relationship between Libby and Comey? Let's see. The move is the latest in Trump's attempt to discredit former FBI Director James Comey. He was the Justice Department official with the oversight over the Libby case.
There's
there it is.
So obviously Comey must have messed up 15 years ago.
No. They're now, he's pardoned,
right.
So now Libby is free to go blast Comey. It's all
there
politics.
It is.
All politics.
Oh my
and
God.
in the you deserve this beating like nobody's deserved this beating before. On that file. You ever hear me say that on this show?
Yeah.
You deserve this beating.
You deserve everything you have.
You deserved
right
everything you got. And this guy, Rod Salka, Salka, he's an American boxer.
Yeah.
He lost in a 6-round bout to a Mexican fighter by the name of Francisco Vargas. Now, I wouldn't say necessarily he deserved the
Not
beating.
necessarily.
Except Salka entered the ring wearing trunks with the message "America First" written on the front, and on the back a pattern of a brick wall, like the wall that Trump wants to build across the Mexican border.
You've got
So apparently Vargas dominated the fight, sending Salka to his knees with an uppercut in the 5th round. There he goes. There he goes, and down he goes. And that goes in the file of you deserve that beating, pal.
You so deserve everything you got.
Yeah, you deserve everything you got there. All right, 1-800-529-5465. I would be remiss if I didn't do this because I've been begged to do this. It's been all the way in the back the whole time.
Are you going to do
Henry and Balu.
Oh, yes, I have.
Henry and Balu. Have you heard about them? The two rescue pets. One's a dog, one's a cat, and they're unlikely friend. What is this? Share the Bradshaw live with your friend. A new graphic, but that has nothing to do with Henry and Balu.
No, but they got to share right before we get to Henry and Balu. It's about to be the cutest thing we've ever talked about.
Henry and Balu, they've long enjoyed walks through the great back outdoors, and they are very special to their fans. They have become Instagram celebrities. And do we have picture? There he is. There's Henry and Balu. He's a tall, lanky German Shepherd, and Balu's a Siamese mix.
Look at
and Balu wears a harness on walks and loves exploring as much as Henry. And the animals, the two of them, they behave like they are brother and sister. And they were both born on the street, and these were both rescue animals.
And now they're best friends.
And now they are best friends, Henry and Balu.
That's adorable.
Yes.
Oh, God. I know I'm being a girl right now, but that just makes my heart melt. That's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, so now before we get to our questions, we're going to use all our fancy graphics.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready for fancy graphics?
I'm ready for fancy graphics.
All right. So first fancy graphic is now's the time to call 1-800-529-5465. We're going to be answering your immigration questions. There we are. Ask me your immigration question.
Look at
call
that.
1-800-529-5465. And now also, we're going to fly around the world and ask people to share this with your friends and family. Put it on your timeline. Put it on your friend's timeline. Share the Bradshaw Live with your friends and family around the world. All right, so with that, let's go to May in the Bronx. May, how are you? May?
Yes, hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
What's going on?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The notice that the immigration sent that said "Welcome to America."
Mm-hmm.
Can you use that to get a social security number, or you have to wait for the green card?
You need the green card.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, they're not going to do it with that.
Okay.
All right, hang in there.
But when you get this, it means that the green card is approved, right?
Yeah, you're approved. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Okay,
All right.
thank you.
You're
Bye.
very welcome. All right.
All right.
1-800-529-5465 is the number to call to get on our show. I'm going to be answering every last immigration question. And if Belgium Kim's mom has to wait for dinner till 11, so be it. All right. 1-800-529-5465. Francesca in Poughkeepsie, New York. Francesca.
Yes.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
What's going on?
Yeah, I have a question. I have two boys, and there is a citizenship.
You have two boys, and what about citizenship?
Yeah, I want to know how I can do my papers.
Okay, where are you from, Francesca?
From Dominican Republic.
You're from the Dominican Republic. How old are your children?
My children is I have one 16 and the other one is 18.
Okay. Unfortunately,
and they have a problem.
What's the problem?
Special.
What they have special problems?
Yes.
What are their problems?
They have problems psychiatric.
They have what?
Psychiatric problem.
What? What problem?
Trauma psiquiátrico.
No habla español. Mi español muy mal. Can you say it in English?
No.
No.
I speak a little bit, but
Yeah, I understand. You know what? We do have abogados habla español en la oficina, pero no me. So, un momento, por favor. Okay?
Okay.
All right, hold
Thank
on.
you.
All right. 1-800-52... How was that?
That
was pretty good, huh? Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. That's about. I've now just done every Spanish word I
I was about to
know.
say, I understood everything
That
you
was
said.
every
but
Spanish word I know.
to the
All right,
extent.
let's go to Lourdes in Thousand Oaks, California. Lourdes.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, my concern is that my IDAS 140 petition was approved in 2006. But according to my previous lawyer, I cannot change status because of the cancellation of 245I. My question is there any other options for me to move forward?
You got sponsored in a job?
Yes.
And what type of visa did you come here on?
I came here in 2006 as a tourist.
Okay. Where is your mom and dad?
They're in the Philippines.
Did they ever try to get green cards to come to America?
No, my sister, only my sister.
Your sister. What is your sister's status?
She has a green card. She's a teacher in Louisiana.
How long has she had her green card?
Not long time ago, I think less than 2 years.
Okay. How did she get her green card?
Through T visa.
Through a what visa?
T.
T?
P? Yeah. Yeah.
She
came here.
She was trafficked. She was trafficked. She was a victim of a crime.
Something like that. She came here first on an H1 visa. But H1 working visa because she's a teacher. She came here as an H1 visa, and then they had a problem with the recruiter and all, so they ended up filing a T visa, and it was approved, and then she already had her green card.
All right, so then, worst case scenario, right now there's nothing you can do on that job sponsorship, but I would assume in 2 to 3 years your sister's going to be a citizen, and she's going to file for your parents, okay? If your parents come here with a green card, now you can do a provisional waiver through your parents and then finish up the job sponsorship. So as soon as your parents come to America, there's going to be a way for you to get a green card right away.
Can my sister already petition my mother?
No, not until she's a citizen.
Oh, she needs to wait until she's citizen, and then my mother can do it for me.
Well, no, your mom's not going to do it. You're going to finish it through the job sponsorship, but you're going to be able to do a provisional waiver through your mom so you can get an appointment in the Philippines and come back in about 2 weeks.
Oh, that's so sad. I've been here for 11 years.
I know
and
it is.
waiting for
I know it's extraordinarily sad. It's you and everybody. I know it's a horrible, horrible position that the United States puts you in, and unfortunately, our politicians and Donald Trump and the Republicans don't make it easy for you, and it's a very sad and unfair. I agree.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
All right, hang in there. Hang in there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. 1-800-529-5465. That would be great.
What would be
if
great?
I went around like this with I just thought of it.
Like a picket sign
like
type
a
of
picket
situation?
sign, like, hey, call.
Oh man, that would look really cool. Like I feel like that would look really cool animated though. I don't feel like you should
think we
do
can
it.
do that animated?
I think we could bust something out real quick. Surely we
I
can
don't know,
make
maybe.
something very quickly.
Or maybe we can't. I don't know. All right, let's go to Michael in Union, New. Apparently we can't. Michael in Union, New Jersey. Michael.
Yeah.
How are you?
Michael.
Yeah, what's up?
Good. Hey, so let me give you a quick timeline.
Yeah.
So I got my green card through marriage in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the 2-year green card. And then I got the 10-year green card in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 2016, I got arrested, and they took my fingerprint and everything, got through the system, and I lost the green card, as in like the physical card. So I applied for a replacement card, and I got the replacement card. I was approved to get the replacement card.
What were you arrested for?
Simple assault.
What happened with the case?
I got convicted.
Of what?
And I served 7 days in jail.
What state was this in?
So this was in Pennsylvania. Now I'm in New Jersey, but this was Pennsylvania.
Okay. So do you know if it was a misdemeanor?
Misdemeanor 2.
Misdemeanor to. I'm not 100. I'm not 100% familiar with the Pennsylvania Penal Code, but you have an assault about 3 years after. It sounds like it's a misdemeanor. You did 7 days in jail, and that's it. Correct?
Yeah. So now
never been arrested ever again in your life.
No.
Good. The question is what?
I have a green card now, and I'm trying to see if I could travel, if I can get in trouble if I travel, or even if I try to apply for citizenship.
Well, you're not going to. Oh, there we go. Ask Brad a question. We're a little late there on it. But the answer is you're not going to become a citizen until at least 5 years from the time of, or 3 years from the time of that conviction if you're still married to your ex-wife or your current wife. If you're married to a U.S. citizen. Are you still married?
No,
okay.
no.
All right, so
because the case was with her.
Oh, it's a domestic violence. Then the answer is going to be you're not going to travel, because if you are convicted of a domestic violence incident, that's a deportable offense, and this happened within the first 3 years of you getting your green card. You're not going to travel.
So if I travel and come back, they'll be able to look at it, and
they may look at it. And I'm telling you this without looking at anything. I'm telling you this based on what you're telling me, and what you're telling me is that there was a fight between you and your spouse, and that there was an assault, and you went to jail for 7 days. And what the law says is if you're convicted of a crime involving domestic violence, that is a deportable offense, and that's what you're describing to me. So I'm telling you not to travel without obviously the benefit of looking at everything. If I look at everything, maybe I'll tell you something different. I don't know, but I'm just based on what you're telling me, I wouldn't travel.
Yeah, but I was wondering, why did they approve the green card then? The replacement card.
Every time, just because, and you're making a classic error when it comes to immigration. Just because immigration came across you and decided not to put you in deportation at that moment doesn't mean that you're not deportable, and doesn't mean that the next time they come across you that the same thing will happen. You can't make that. Immigration has no logic, and the reason is maybe it was the end of the day when they looked at your. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons. Literally, maybe it's the end of the day, and the guy's like, I'm too tired. I don't feel like, bureaucrat. I'm too tired. I don't feel like doing the paperwork. I'll hand him his green card. Maybe they don't have any beds. Maybe they're overloaded. Maybe they got a memo saying, hey, you know what? We want to put people with drug convictions in deportation. Leave the domestic violence people alone. I don't know. There's 100 reasons why they chose to leave you alone, but that doesn't mean that the next time they come across you, the same thing's going to happen.
Okay, fair enough.
You understand?
Right. Yeah.
All right, so hang in there. Yep. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. Now's the time. We see when I'm going 1-800-529-5465. That would be the time. Ooh, there's Brad going across the screen.
But they couldn't do that.
There we
every
go.
Time you
Ask
say
me
the
your
number.
immigration question.
That's
there
adorable.
We go. Very, very good. All right. Let's go to Beverly in Brooklyn.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I'm calling because I want to know, I got married a couple of days ago, and I'm going to file for my papers, but my husband owed over $15,000 in school loans. I want to know if I file an injured spouse claim, if that's okay or not.
You're going to file, and your husband owes $15,000 to who?
In school loans.
Okay, so what do you mean by injured spouse?
An injured spouse claim is like maybe not taking his responsibility or his share of his school loan.
Yeah, but that's a loan that he owes. That's nothing to do with taxes. When you're saying you're not an injured spouse, first of all, that would be an innocent spouse. That's why I didn't understand what you meant by injured. So it's innocent spouse, and that has to do with taxes. Doesn't have to do with school loans.
Okay, so for example, I have like a 1099 because I work.
You need to file a joint tax return with your spouse if you want to be able to get a green card. You got to show you're jointly liable for your taxes. That's my advice to you. All right? And you're in Brooklyn, by the way. So if you want to go get into the specifics of everything, come see us. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Hold on. All right. 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Call us now with your... There we go. Call us now with you. Ooh, we're getting the hang of it now. Call us now with your immigration questions. Watch this. And please share this with your friends and family.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Please share this with your friends. There we go. Sharing is caring. Please share this with your friends and family. All right. Way to go. Yay. No, I was waiting for the applause. That would be good. All right. Simone in Queens.
Too much.
Yeah, we got the applause too. Simone in Queens.
Hi, good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine.
What's going on?
I'm calling on behalf of my friend. His name is James. He's not living here. He got deported in 2003 for cocaine. He spent 1 year and 6 months in the U.S. and gets sent home.
Right.
Now, can he come back in the U.S.?
No.
Based on getting a visa or marriage?
Not on marriage. Once you get deported for cocaine, you can never come back with a green card ever in your life.
Nor a visa?
Well, you can get a visa. We talked about this yesterday. A woman called me from Jamaica. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and she wanted to know her friend or her husband, whoever she was calling about, also got deported, and he had a drug conviction. And he now has a business in Jamaica, and he's an upstanding person, and he's turned his life around, and blah, 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 blah. And she goes, he doesn't even want to get a green card. He just wants to be able to come for a visa, with a visa. And what you have to, there is a waiver for a visitor's visa. The problem is it's going to be very difficult if you were deported to get a visitor's visa, because you have to show you plan on returning back to your country, Jamaica, whatever country you came from, at the conclusion of your visit. And he's already shown that he wants to stay in America because he fought out his deportation case. He was living here with a green card. So he's going to have a very hard time trying to get a visitor's visa, and then he needs a waiver for both the drugs and the deportation. And you have to show that the interests of the United States are more important for him to come to America than the fact that he was deported for drugs. And so that interest that the United States has in having him come to America better be pretty strong. So if it's, I want to take my daughter to Disney World, unfortunately, U.S. doesn't care. Okay, so, and I gave the example of, there was a very famous reggae artist who had a drug conviction, never deported from the United States, but had a drug conviction. And years and years ago, we were able to get him a visitor's visa with a waiver to go to the Grammy Awards to pick up his Grammy Award. But, so it was in the interest of the United States that he be allowed to come and do that. But, short of something coming to pick up a Grammy Award, short of that, then cocaine, deported, it's going to be almost an impossibility.
Okay, so you're saying not a green card or citizenship, but they may grant him a visa just to visit and go home
with a waiver.
With a waiver, and how you apply for a waiver?
Didn't I just explain this? I think I just explained. I think I just explained this to you.
Sorry.
Hold on one second. Sorry. Hold on, and come for a consultation. I think I just explained it to her. I can't explain it twice. Which is you have to show all the interest, the reasons why, on one hand, that the United States wants him. He goes to the U.S. Embassy. He gets denied his visa. They'll say, yeah, you're eligible for the visa, but you're denied because you're drugs and deportation and all sorts of bad stuff. So they put all this bad stuff in one hand, and then they put all the good stuff in the other hand. Why does he need? What's in the interest of the United States for him to come to America? Right.
So James needs to start working on his music career and get a Grammy nomination.
Maybe.
And that would be how he would be approved for the waiver.
Well, that would be one way. Maybe there's other ways, All right, let's go to Robert in West Palm Beach, Florida. Robert.
Yeah, hello?
How are you?
Okay, sir. Actually, my question is, I filed an I-360 and received, I'm on my second prima facie. I would just like to know if I have a strong possible chance of getting my card, my I-360 approved.
You're asking me, all right, so your question to me is, I filed an I-360 and I want to know my chances of getting it approved?
Yeah, I actually in my second prima facie.
I'm sorry, what about it?
Yes, I'm on my second prima facie now.
You're on your second time filing it now?
Prima facie.
He has a prima facie. Thank you very much, Kim. He has a so prima facie means is that you're entitled to get government benefits. It means that what you filed wasn't BS. Does it now, just because the government says it's not BS, you didn't file a BS application, doesn't mean that you reach the level of, to have it granted. Just basically, the government didn't look at your file and say, oh, come on, give it this BS, this sending me here. Okay, so they looked at it and said, okay, could be something here, put in this file, someone's going to look at it down the line. So that's what the prima facie determination means, is that on its face, looks okay. Now somebody has to actually look at it and make a determination. You're asking me, will you get approved because you have a prima facie? No, not necessarily.
I get it like 2 times now.
Okay, wonderful. That's fantastic. It just means nobody's looked at your case yet. Now, if you want my opinion on, I would have to look at what you filed and all the documents that were filed with it, and then I can give you an opinion. I don't know otherwise. It's like saying to a doctor, hey, doctor, my other doctor says I got cancer, and he took an x-ray. What do you think? You think I got cancer? Well, let me look at the x-ray. I have no idea. I don't know. So if you want, you can definitely have a consultation, and we could definitely look at everything, and then we can take it from there. So hold on one second. All right. 1-800-529-5465. That's the number to call. And if we have a little, there we are, a little picket guy. There I am. Is that me? That's
definitely
me.
You.
That's
definitely
me.
You.
Let's go. Show that again. Let's double check. No, it's not social media check-in time. Oh man, they're pressing the wrong buttons. Ask me. That's supposed to be me on Dwayne The Rock's body.
Dwayne Johnson's body.
On Dwayne Johnson's body. That's me on Dwayne Johnson's body.
Have I told you how much you look like Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
No, you have
lately,
not
Brad?
told me that.
No,
you have
man.
not
The
told me that.
resemblance is uncanny.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to Priscilla in Hampton, South Carolina.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. My question for you is this. My son's stepmother, she is a permanent resident in the United States. She's applying for my son's father's, she's filing for him. His father is in Jamaica, but my son is here with me in South Carolina on a J2 visa. I'm a teacher here.
Okay.
So she would like to know if she, how does she go about filing for him as well?
This is the stepmom.
Yes, sir.
How old is your son?
He's 12.
Okay, so you would file an adjustment for him here.
Okay, so even though he's on the J2 visa,
Yes.
that could be done.
Yes. Now he would have to, before he does that, you have a 2-year home residence requirement, which attaches
Yes,
to him.
sir.
So he would have
Right.
he would have to apply for a no objection letter for the 2-year home residence requirement first, and then file the adjustment after. So step 1 is he's got to do a no objection letter. Step 2 is the stepmom would then file an adjustment for him.
Okay, so within the filing, she would have to do a no objection letter.
It would be actually no objection letter first, filing adjustment later. So for everybody to understand out there, and I'm sure you understand this, Priscilla, when you come on a J visa, you're coming here as an exchange worker. And the
Yes.
U.S. government wants you to take, the purpose of the J visa is for the U.S. government wants you to take your knowledge that you learned here and bring it back to your home country, whether it's Jamaica, Canada, wherever it may be. So now to change your status to a green card or anything else, the government requires that you return home for 2 years before you can go get a green card. It's not only you, but it's now the 12-year-old son because he's attached to your J visa. So what has to happen is that you first have to request through the Jamaican consulate here in the United States a letter saying, do you mind if my son doesn't return home for the 2-year home residence requirement? His stepmom would like to file for his adjustment of status. He's 12 years old. What do you care, Jamaica, whether he goes home or not? And I'm sure Jamaica would say, yeah, no problem. We don't object. And then you have to take that no objection letter and send it to the State Department and say, hey, State Department, can you take off this 2-year home residence requirement so that my son could file an adjustment through his stepmom? And I'm sure the State Department would say, yeah, what do we care? He's 12 years old. And then you get a letter from the State Department saying, we do not object to the 2-year home residence requirement. It's waived. And then you can take that letter, put it with the adjustment, and he gets his green card. It's a process.
Okay. Thank you so very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank
And if
you.
you need help, hold on. All right, 1-800-529-5465. Now's the time, ladies and gentlemen. No. Now is the time, ladies and gentlemen.
You did say the number.
I did
In
say
their
the number.
defense,
Boom, that is true.
You did say the number.
You're right. You're right. My fault. My
Right.
fault.
I'm just.
Okay.
I
my
got
fault.
you, control
My
room.
fault.
I got you.
My fault. My fault. My fault. Control room. Oh my God! Can you imagine if I was a pilot in the space shuttle? We would have crashed.
Oh my God, no.
Control room. Wrong button. Control room. Ah!
I mean,
right,
I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, but I'm not trying to follow you into space. I gotta be real.
The Bradshaw Live goes into space.
Somebody get us a Mars mission.
God, they would be President. We would be stuck in space forever. All right. So now's the time where you get to ask Social Media Kim. Correct, our social media check-in. There we are.
God, that's so
Belgium
official.
Kim is going to ask your questions that you've left for her on our Facebook page at both Bradshaw Live and on Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein. Leave your questions right now. This is what we're calling the social media check-in. And we are going to be going to Belgium Kim.
Belgium Kim.
What's up?
So our first question is from Ainworth. Ainworth wants to know, I lost my green card and my social and my driver's license that are all in my wallet at the San Francisco airport yesterday. I called Lost and Found and they didn't find them yet. What should I do?
What did you lose?
Everything. ID, social security, green card, all in the wallet, all
What
at the
about his
airport.
passport?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
That wouldn't be in a wallet.
All right, so
I
the
could
first thing
probably
all right, if you lost the passport, first thing you got to do is replace the passport because you need a photo ID to replace your green card. If you have the passport, then what you're going to do is an I-90 application to get the replacement green card. When you get the replacement green card, then you can go get a new Social Security card with the same number. And when you have the green card and the new Social Security card, you can go get your driver's license. So you do it in that order. I-90, green card, Social Security card, driver's license. I once lost a belt at the airport. I was so dumb. You know, like they make you take the
belt and
shoes off.
Yeah.
So take all my belt and shoes off. You know, I'm all verklempt. You know, they're patting me down. It's like a whole thing
security,
there. It's a whole security thing there. So I take all my stuff and I
Yeah.
go. And I'm walking down, you know, to the gate.
Yeah.
My pants are falling down. I'm like, what the hell? I said, did I just
Is
lose
your
20
pants
pounds?
falling down?
Did I lose 20 pounds? What's going on? You know, in this whole thing. And then I realized I didn't have a belt on. And then I went back, and they couldn't find my belt anywhere. And then the guy said, you know, and my plane's about to leave. He goes, is this your belt? I go, yes, that's my belt.
Yeah.
And I grabbed it.
Yeah.
And I put it on, and it fit me. And then I came home, and I realized
Not your belt.
that's not my belt. And I took somebody else's belt. So I'm sure that's what happened to this man's wallet as well. Somebody grabbed it.
I get it.
Yeah.
It sounds like part laughter, part clucking turkeys,
Yeah.
but I'm understanding
you
the
understand
sentiment.
what happened,
and
right?
I can't, I'm imagining you like with your pants almost around your ankles, almost to the gate, like, oh no.
Yeah.
That is
It was terrible.
unfortunate.
All right, what else?
Leo Speed. And Leo Speed really wants an answer because he has asked this question multiple times on every stream we have. He says, my stepmother is filing for my father and I. My father's in Jamaica, but I'm in the U.S. with my mother on a B2. The process started in September of last year. I'm 12 years old.
This is the same person?
That's what I thought.
Yes.
It's the same, right?
Same person.
Whew, there was some
All
thirst
right.
to answer that question.
Yeah, okay.
Mansoor Kebe says, my mom is almost 60 years old. So is mine. And green card holder for 8 years now. Can she be exempted from the writing and reading when she's filing her citizenship?
How old is she?
Almost 60.
And how long she had a green card?
8 years.
Nope, 15. Sorry.
Aw. Matthias wants to know, I received my interview notice for my adjustment of status. However, when I checked online, it is saying that it's an employment-based interview scheduled. But my case is marriage-based. Is there an error somewhere that I should be correcting?
Sounds like there's certainly an error. I don't know if you need to correct it or not. When you show up there with your wife, they'll figure it out. But yeah, maybe you want to write them a letter. But yeah, it sounds like there's an error.
Christine wants to know, how long would it take for a U.S. citizen to adopt and file for a 17-year-old that's going to be 18 next month?
Where's the adoption happening?
Well, a U.S. citizen is adopting, but we don't know where the adoptee would be.
All right, well, a couple things. Number one, in order to get a green card through adoption, the adoption has to be before 16. Number two, if you're going to adopt in another country, they better either be party to the Hague Convention, and you follow the Hague Convention rules for adoption, or you better be bringing that child here to do the adoption here as an orphan. If the child is already here in the United States, you're still not going to do an adoption. You're going to do a special immigrant juvenile. It's called a guardian. You do a guardianship through family court. Get the guardian to say it's not in the child's best interest to be reunited with one of the parents because of abuse, neglect, abandonment, and then at that point, the child is a special juvenile immigrant. So at this point, the best you can hope for is special juvenile immigrant if the child's here. Do not start going to adopt. You're screwing this kid up if you're doing it.
Zaire wants to know, can a U.S. citizen on food stamps file for her spouse?
No, you're collecting government assistance from the government because you're saying to the government, I can't afford to feed myself. How in the world would you file an affidavit of support promising to pay to help support this person 125% above the poverty level when you can't support yourself? Unfortunately, you would have to get off of food stamps to file for your spouse.
Sandra wants to know, my daughter filed for me. It's approved and she's a citizen, but her husband doesn't want to sign. What can I do?
Why doesn't her husband want to sign?
I'm assuming he doesn't seem to be a fan of his mother-in-law, which isn't very nice. Have respect.
So who's filing for who?
She says that her daughter is filing for her, and she says that her daughter is a citizen.
Yeah, so what does that have to do with anybody?
That's kind of what I'm wondering. Maybe the husband has to sign the affidavit of support?
Well, then get someone else to sign an affidavit of support. He has nothing to do with it.
It doesn't have to be the son-in-law.
No.
There you go.
Get a friend to do it.
Cut the husband out entirely.
Cut him out.
Elise says, I received an RFE for an I-140 today from USCIS. I have not received the notice yet. What type of evidence would they require for an I-140? I'm a registered nurse, and is it something to be concerned about?
Yeah, it's something to be concerned about. So usually on an I-140 RFE, it's going to be one of two issues, or one of three issues. Okay, the I-140, she's getting sponsored as a registered nurse by probably a nursing home or a hospital or a doctor's office, whatever it may be. One is the facility that's sponsoring you can't afford to pay your salary, so they want to make sure more financial documentation. The second possibility is you don't have the minimum requirements for the job. You don't have the CGF&S visa screen. You don't have the right education, or something similar to that. Or three, you just totally screwed up the paperwork. It's one of those three.
Ooh. Rose wants to know, my cousin wants to know, can her stepmother file for her if she's 25 years old?
Can whose stepmother file for who if she's 25?
Can stepmom file for a 25-year-old?
Can stepmom...
For her 25-year-old stepchild.
Can stepmom file...
Yep.
We were off the air on Spar Bernstein for a little bit.
I just refreshed it. I did have to refresh mine, but we are still up and running, fam.
No, we went off for a little bit.
Oh, I didn't even show me.
Yeah, I don't know why. So ask the question again now, because I was just looking at that.
You were looking, I figured.
Yeah.
Rose says, so Rose wants to know, can a stepmother file for her 25-year-old stepchild?
Yes, as long as the marriage happened before the 18th birthday.
Aha. Singh wants to know, I've got a question. There's this girl. Her mom is a permanent resident, and she filed for her daughter 4 years ago. Her daughter is unmarried, over 21, but had an affair with a guy that and it ended the relationship. And the boy's ex said she wrote immigration about the girl's immigration status and the fact that she's out of status. So really the question here is, if immigration has received a letter that says, hey, this person is out of status while they're getting filed for it, could that cause some trouble?
Depends where you are. If you're in Pennsylvania, it sounds like, yeah. New York, probably not. Depends what state.
Ooh. Singh wants to know, how long after your divorce can you get remarried?
The next day.
Ooh, that's always good news.
What do you today? You're like every time I give the answer, you go, ooh.
So here's the thing, because mostly, I'll tell you exactly why. Mostly, you've given good news. Good news make me go, ooh, I love good news.
All right, so let's do this right now. Everybody knows that the Bill Cosby thing is going on in Pennsylvania, right?
Yes.
So I had a chance to sit down with Jake Hudnut. He's one of our fantastic criminal defense attorneys here in our segment that we call Celebrity Rap Sheet, where we talk about what's the goings on of the Bill Cosby. There's a lot going on, by the way.
Right.
It's only like 2 or 3 days
into the retrial.
Into the retrial already, and there's a lot of juicy stuff going on with Bill Cosby already.
I haven't been following it at all, so I'm very excited
if you're a Bill Cosby fan and want to see him get off, there's good and bad stuff. And if you're like a fan of, women and don't want men to touch women without consent, there's also a lot of good and bad stuff going on in your favor as well. Mixed feelings there. So let's watch. In this new installment of Celebrity Rap Sheet, the celebrity in our rap sheet today, Bill Cosby, sexual assault case, began on April 9th. We're going to see how the case proceeds. We're going to be talking about it in our episodes of Celebrity Rap Sheet. But right now, there have already been some interesting developments, surprisingly or not surprisingly. Just to briefly recap, Cosby is charged with drugging and sexually molesting Andrea Constant in his suburban Philadelphia home in 2004. He says it was absolutely consensual, and she agreed. No one's questioning whether or not they had a sexual encounter, but he's saying she agreed to it. So we have with us today, who's been following this very, very intently on a regular basis, Jake Hudnut, one of our fantastic criminal defense attorneys. Jake, thank you for coming on again. I know you've been watching all the goings-on here out in Pennsylvania with Bill Cosby. First of all, Jake, a lot of interesting turns of events. The first one being that the defense team tried to get the judge thrown off the case. What happened there?
Yeah, so rather interestingly, the defense team filed a motion that the judge should be recused. They tried to kick him off the case. His wife is an advocate for sexual assault victims, very committed to that cause. So the defense drew attention to that fact and said that it might affect the judge's fairness and ability to be impartial.
And the judges said,
he said
no dice, right?
You took the words out of my mouth. No dice, no good. In a very emotional ruling, he said that his wife's feelings and involvement had no impact on his ability to be fair and impartial. It's kind of interesting, the old expression, nothing new under the sun. There was a very, very similar motion made, an issue presented in the O.J. Simpson trial when they tried to excuse Judge Lance Ito because his wife had worked under Sergeant Mark Furman, and that also went nowhere.
And that also went no dice.
Yes, no dice in that one too.
And O.J. was ultimately found innocent. And, in years later, Judge Ito was made out to be he just wanted the celebrity himself.
Yes.
So he didn't want to get off the bench.
Yes.
What do you think of the ruling?
I think it's more about the motion in the first place. It's a tricky place to be in as a defense attorney, to stand in front of the judge and say, you can't be fair, you can't be impartial. It's a bit of a risk. But he's got a great defense team. This is the same lead attorney that defended Michael Jackson. He knows what he's doing. And really, the reason it's important is because, and we talked about this last time, it's one more issue that's reserved for appeal. If Bill Cosby goes down, the defense attorney has reserved this issue. He's raised it. He's made a record of it. So an appellate court can revisit it and look at it again.
So the risk is that you pissed off the judge.
Yes.
Yeah. You said, Judge, you're not going to be partial. You can't give us a fair trial. So I want you off this trial. And the judge says, nope, I can absolutely be fair. So the risk is that now the judge is kind of pissed off at the Bill Cosby team. the pro side for Bill Cosby
reward.
is that the one thing is that, well, it's something to appeal.
Yes, because
right?
you really don't raise new issues on appeal. It's got to be stuff that you say that the lower court got wrong. A good trial attorney is doing two things at once at trial. They're fighting the fight in front of the jury and the judge, but they're also preserving issues for the appeal. And that's kind of the unseen battle that a good trial attorney is fighting, because you want to save as many issues in the record so that you can revisit them if, unfortunately, your client is found guilty.
So now that was the first day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now there was fireworks on the second day as well, legal fireworks on the second day. The second day, the same judge who says he can be fair to Bill Cosby actually gave him a very strong ruling in his favor. Talk about that.
Yes. So the judge ruled that a woman by the name of Marguerite Jackson can testify on behalf of the defense, and basically she will say that the main complainant in the case, the main alleged victim, had made certain comments in the past that Ms. Constant, the main alleged victim, made overtures about framing a celebrity and lodging allegations against a celebrity looking for a payday.
So this is really going to hurt the prosecution. You have a woman coming in and Cosby saying, listen, it was consensual. Okay, and this woman says, no, it wasn't consensual. And now you have a woman, a third party coming in and saying that the accuser said to her in a separate conversation, I want to frame a celebrity.
Yes.
That's huge. That's
Yes.
going to put some doubt in a lot of jurors' minds
Yes.
of who's telling the truth and who's not.
Yes. It's also a big hearsay exception. So the judge has really handed the defense something to work with and kind of create that reasonable doubt.
So why was this not allowed in the first trial?
Again, there was a bit of there was hearsay and there was unreliability, because the main alleged victim had indicated that she didn't know who the heck Marguerite Jackson was. Her statement and her position has kind of evolved since then. Ms. Jackson alleges that the two of them worked together for many years, that they traveled on business trips and shared hotel rooms. The main alleged victim now acknowledges that she does remember somebody named Margot, who is presumably Marguerite Jackson. So there's a bit of a nexus, there's a bit of reliability to what Ms. Jackson is saying that didn't exist in the first trial.
So now let me ask you this question, because now, you know, you're a juror. And you say, okay, you got Bill Cosby, he says it was consensual, and you got this other woman who is the victim who says it's not consensual, and now the only other person, at least that we know of, that's going to be testifying on behalf of Bill Cosby is going to say, listen, she told me on the side I'm going to frame a celebrity, and here's a celebrity, Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough to put doubt beyond a reasonable doubt that he forced himself on her?
Absolutely. That's a great closing argument to make. They look to be in a better position than they are without it. And again, you know, as a defense attorney, you're not proving your client innocent, you're just raising a question that makes sense, a reasonable question. And that's certainly reasonable doubt.
Yeah. To me, that's reasonable doubt. I mean, that is a huge victory for the defense and Bill Cosby. Now, let me ask you this question. Can the prosecutor go and impeach a witness with somebody else? Can they bring in somebody else to say, well, the person who's saying that, I don't know if they have this person, I'm just asking a question. You know, they're bringing in this third party, and the third party's saying that the accuser wanted to frame a celebrity. Now we bring in the fourth party who says, the person who's saying the accuser wanted to frame the celebrity, she's a liar. Can you do that?
Yes. One of the things when you're a defense attorney you have to watch out for is what you open the door to. The judge will say, well, counselor, you open the door to it. So while a prosecutor can't call witnesses to bolster their own witness, like a prosecutor without Ms. Jackson couldn't line up a bunch of people to say
she's an angel and she would she would always tell the truth.
Exactly.
Right.
But once you open up the door to her perhaps being a liar, then the prosecutor is allowed to rebut that. And one of the hearsay exceptions is kind of not rehabilitating, but refuting an allegation of lying. So sure, whenever you put something in play, you've also got to think, well, what can they come back at it with? So certainly it could open up the door to a whole host of rebuttal witnesses.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting because now the character of the accuser is in play.
Yes.
So we're going to find out a lot about this woman that we otherwise would not have been able to because of this ruling. Any other interesting rulings?
That's about it so far. I mean, the judge did kind of reserve and say that he might give some limiting instructions after this testimony is all heard, which is kind of important because that's where the judge kind of lets the jury know what they can and can't do with what they heard. And again, there's more opportunity for attorneys to object and preserve all these issues for in case Bill Cosby does go down.
Now, this is happening in Pennsylvania, this trial. All right, Bill Cosby is obviously a very well-known, famous, one of the most famous black actors, comedians of our time. The accuser is a white woman, not as obviously as well-known as Bill Cosby. What was the composition of the jury, and how much is race going to play into all of this?
So the way that the 12 main jurors are seated right now, and this could change depending on excusals and alternates, but right now it's 10 white jurors and 2 jurors of color, black jurors. I think the pool had been larger, and the defense made objections to, because you start with a pool of about 100 or 50 and you work your way down to 12 fair ones, okay? So during that selection, there's a lot of back and forth and lawyering. And the prosecutors the defense attorneys did object and say that the prosecutors were excusing too many black jurors, which is something you've really got to watch for when you're a defense attorney picking a jury. Arguably the most important part of a trial is picking a jury. We should talk about that sometime. So race played a factor there. I think race will play a factor in the deliberations. 20 years after O.J. Simpson, people are still talking about that jury was largely people of color, and people are speculating on the impact that had on that ruling. So yeah, race is going to play a point, and that's not exactly a balanced jury, and that's not exactly a jury of Bill Cosby's peers if it's 10 white and 2 black.
It is not. It is not. So a lot of interesting developments. We will keep abreast of this on a weekly basis, Jake. We're going to invite you back next week.
Excellent.
Let us know what's going on.
I look forward.
But I will tell you, Bill Cosby's case is looking a lot better since that ruling.
Yes.
Looking a lot better. Looking a lot better. We'll see what happens. Jake, thank you for joining us here on Celebrity Rap Sheet.
I'll see you on the next installment.
Yes. I love that little graphic there. All right, Celebrity Rap Sheet. We'll see what happens with Bill Cosby. And in the meantime, Aloy from Killen, Texas has been on hold. Is it?
Yes.
Is it Killen, Texas? Is that the name of it? We're killing. Oh,
Yes,
Killian. Killian. I thought it was Killing. I'm like, wow. I don't want to go to any place called Killing, Texas. I don't think they like Jews or blacks in Killing, Texas. That's my guess. All right, Aloy, what's going on?
Yes, actually, I came to the U.S. here with B1, B2 visa. Yes, and I got married last year to a U.S. citizen.
Right.
But unfortunately, she's earning a little bit below $19,000 per annum. So can she sponsor my change of status?
Well, is it just you and her, nobody else?
Nobody else, yes.
Nobody else. All right, so the poverty guideline, let's see. 2018 poverty guidelines is, what is this? Let's see what it is. For 16, Kim, can you do me a favor?
I can.
Can you multiply 16,460 times 1.25? What is that number?
1.25.
What is that number?
It equals to $20,575, Brad. I did it in my head.
Thank you. $20,575 is what she had to earn last year to sponsor you without a second affidavit. So if she's a little so the answer is she's going to need a second affidavit of support.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Best of luck.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Now's the time of the show when we go right back to social media check-in. Let's see our fantastic graphic. It is social media check-in time. There it is.
Man.
Lots of happy faces.
We are so cool.
Yes. All right. What do you got?
Jay wants to know if my wife is a green card holder and we only got a receipt notice in February, about how long after we get the notice are we going to get approved?
About 2 years. For the I-130, it's going to be about 12 months. You're going to get a green card in about 2 years from February.
We've got another question from Major who says, can I travel back and visit on a conditional green card for just a few weeks?
Of course you can. Why not?
Always good to check with an attorney first. I get it. Michelle says, can I apply for a fee waiver twice for an N400?
Of course. Why not?
If you were denied the first time around, though, does that...
I thought her citizenship was denied. If the fee waiver was denied, then obviously they're saying you earn enough money.
Aha.
Unless you did it wrong. But most likely it's because you earn enough money to pay for the filing fee.
Monica has a question, and I think we can kind of figure out what situation she's in. She's asking, the day that you land in America, can you go apply for your Social Security card with the stamp that was placed in your passport at the airport?
Yes, you should be able to.
I was assuming that's assuming she has her green card in hand.
Well, the stamp in the passport is the temporary green card. So the reason why you should be able to do it is when you go to Social Security, they should be able to look up the record that you are a lawful permanent resident. By all means, you should try.
Nezzy wants to know, I have a B1, B2 visiting visa, and I got married to a U.S. citizen in the States. So what form should we be filling out to adjust my status?
I-45, I-130, I-130A, I-864, I-765, I-131.
Christopher wants to know, at what time can I marry after a visit? Is it after 6 months or before?
After 90 days.
Michelle has a follow-up. She says, what if my situation has changed since I applied for the first fee waiver?
Then yeah, go for it.
It's fair. We've got a question from Reginald who says, my friend did her citizenship interview and got denied because she brought her arrest papers from the precinct instead of the disposition letter from the court. What can she do now?
File again and get an attorney this time, because you should never be going to immigration for citizenship or a green card or anything else if you have arrest records.
Be smart about this. Robert says, hello, mister. I'm a citizen in the States and my daughter has a visa to travel to the United States. If she comes here, can I go ahead and file for her?
How old is she?
Robert has not told us her age.
And number two, you can't come here with the intention of getting a green card, Robert. So
right. That is bad news bears.
Bad news bears.
Shine says, my stepson came to the U.S. when he was 14 years old. He got a 10-year green card, and my husband is getting ready to file for his citizenship. Will the son automatically become a citizen?
If he has a green card and he's living with the father who becomes a citizen in his legal and physical custody and the son is under 18, the answer is yes.
Tina says, I did my medical last April. My interview is scheduled for this May. I know the medical only lasts for a year, but they haven't really requested a new one. Do you think I should go ahead and just complete a new one and take it with me to the interview, or just use the one that they've already got?
If you want to play it safe, yeah, go get another one. You know, it costs you a couple of dollars, but play it safe.
Absolutely. And I think that's all we've got for right now.
All right, so let's go to Johnny in Tempe, Arizona. Johnny.
Yeah, hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
Oh, I just have a question in your company that I am a J1 visa holder here in Arizona right now, and I will be finishing my studies until May. I will be graduating on May 8th, but I have already a ticket which will be May 14th.
What type of visa did you say you're here on, Johnny?
J1
J1
visa, student visa.
Okay.
Yeah. I will be going back in the Philippines in May 14, but I have a plan to go back here. Is it possible that you can help me to inquire how is the possibility?
Absolutely. This is what I do for a living, Johnny. Hold on one second. You need a consultation if you want to stay. All right, 1-800-529-5465. You know, a while back, we've done a whole bunch of cooking things here.
We have.
Okay, and a while back, I went to cook at La Pulperia restaurant with Chef Carlos. Oh. Now, he's a guy who came here from Argentina on a visitor's visa, overstayed, worked as a busboy, worked his way through restaurants, learned the entire restaurant business, finally found a friend who was also working as a busboy who entered the country without inspection. That's his partner.
Right.
They eventually got their green cards, but worked for years and years and years, basically washing dishes. Saved all their money from washing dishes and opened up 3 beautiful restaurants in New York City. Let's watch, and then right after, I want to introduce you to Chef Shorn. Chef Shorn is another guy.
Right.
Why don't we do Chef Shorn first?
You want to do Chef Shorn first?
Yeah, because you want to know why? Because Chef Shorn has an amazing American dream story. Now, here's a guy, he came, he's like this famous chef now, but he came and learned his trade here, and it's an amazing, beautifully shot by Muta Ali, by the way. Let's watch.
Back in St. Lucia in the islands, those memories are vivid. Going to the beach for the first time, seeing my father show me how to crack an almond. He was brave enough to take that opportunity, that voyage to come to New York, and my mom was with me. When he got his citizenship, he could have filed for me on his own rightful way. He applied for her. The absence of my parents, it kind of lost some things in me where I'm the only kid that don't have their mother or father on Mother's Day to celebrate. I remember so well where I actually prayed that someday that I could have my mom and my father again. Yes, my parents were not there, but I had a rock and a solid person in my grandmother. She was amazing. She was the icon in the community with her restaurants, her bakery. My grandma taught me in the kitchen when I was young, pretty young, like 8, 7, pretty much. Things in my life that that hurt me was the passing of my grandmother. I guess you're a kid, like your grandma's your world, and now she's not there. My mom called me, and my father's like, "Are you alright? Do you want to come to New York?" I had to go to the neighboring island of Barbados to do my medical, to get my visa, my green card application. It was like extensive testing for different diseases. I was excited and scared at the same time. I remember leaving, it was New Year's Eve. Imagine that, coming to a new world. I remember that flight, man, it was a thunderstorm. It was like tons of empty seats and we're in the sky rocking like crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, am I going to die? Eventually I land, and it was January 1st, 1999.
2, 1, happy 1999!
To reunite with them was amazing. I mean, everyone came out onto the airport to greet me. I got the speech from my father and my mom. Okay, you have a green card, which gives you access to be legal, to work, everything here. But ultimately it's to become a citizen. And to do that, you cannot be in no trouble. You can't even be arrested because they could deport you. You have 5 years just to be a good standing citizen. And I pursued to get a job. You have no references, no experiences. You pretty much have a number. That's it, a social security number. So went to college, networking, and I finally got a job doing mail work at a bank. Worked there for 2 years, and I made my way up. Something about me coming to New York was so fascinating. It was about food and culture. You go into fancy restaurants, and you're back in your mind, it's like you go back to your Caribbean culture, like, how come there's no Caribbean place to go like this? On my lunch break one day, I went to check out different culinary schools, and my whole question to them was like, what's like a salary for a chef? And they're like, starting salary is probably you get $10,000, $11,000 an hour. I'm like, what? I'm taking a major pay cut if I pursue this. and came to terms when the economy was failing and it was more like a recession. Never went through this. It was scary. And I got laid off from my job. I went back to the Caribbean to rethink myself and to reinvent myself as a chef. I said, you know what? It makes me happy, and I will pursue it. And I enrolled in the French Institute of Culinary, which was down in Soho. My mom was like telling me, are you sure? My father was saying, sure. I said, you know what? This is my chance. I was the only Caribbean guy there, and their style was Italian, French, and I'm like coming with my traditional grandmother ways in my mind. Eventually I caught on, and from then different levels in the culinary program was amazing. And I actually had a job before I left culinary school, which was sweet because my severance pay was over, my unemployment had run out, and I got my $11 an hour, which I was very grateful for. It dawned on me where, you know what, I've learned so much from French, American, Italian. Why not incorporate it in my Caribbean cuisine? And people were talking about it like crazy. Who is this new chef? I got that title where it was celebrity chef. I'm happy that I had a good foundation from my grandmother. It's like I'm reinventing myself in her way, where she's actually used to feed people that used to come to St. Lucia tourists. Now I'm in the culinary world, I'm doing the same thing. I found my purpose in life, and it's allowed me to achieve my dream of being a chef and one day probably owning my own restaurant. How could I fault my parents for leaving me and migrating to the US? It helped me to embrace my purpose and my dream.
Prior successful results do not guarantee similar outcome.
We're here at La Pulperia restaurant in Midtown Manhattan on East 57th Street. We're about to go and meet Chef Carlos from Argentina, his partner Victor from Mexico. They opened up this beautiful restaurant and they're going to teach me how to cook salmon. Now, for anybody who knows, I don't know anything about cooking whatsoever. The only thing I know how to make is a reservation. So let's go see if we can teach Brad how to cook. Just got handed this apron. Does it say kiss the lawyer, kiss the chef? Nothing. It says nothing on here. And wait, should I put this over like this or should I? Yeah, nothing like a lawyer cooking with his blazer on, right? How are you?
How you doing?
How are you? So
good.
So wow, look at all this stuff here. What are we doing today?
So we're gonna do one of my signature dishes. It is called salmon brulee. It is a salmon tartare.
Salmon
with
tartare.
Cream cheese. We put brown sugar.
We're here at La Pulperia restaurant in Midtown Manhattan on East 57th Street. We're about to go and meet Chef Carlos from Argentina, his partner Victor from Mexico. They opened up this beautiful restaurant and they're going to teach me how to cook salmon. Now, for anybody who knows, I don't know anything about cooking whatsoever. The only thing I know how to make is a reservation. So let's go see if we can teach Brad how to cook. Just got handed this apron. Does it say kiss the lawyer, kiss the chef? Nothing. It says nothing on here. And wait, should I put this over like this or should I? Yeah, nothing like a lawyer cooking with his blazer on, right? How are you?
How you doing?
How are you? So
good.
So wow, look at all this stuff here. What are we doing today?
So we're gonna do one of my signature dishes. It is called salmon brulee. It is a salmon tartare.
Salmon
with
tartare.
Cream cheese. We put brown sugar on the top like a brulee.
Cream cheese, brown sugar on top, and you're gonna burn it like a creme brulee
Like a
dessert.
correct.
But except it's salmon.
It's gonna be salmon.
Is this an appetizer or is this a main course? It's an appetizer.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So salmon.
Okay.
So we're gonna do some add some red onions.
Red onions.
Scallions, cilantro, radishes.
Radishes. Very good. Looks good.
Salt. So we're gonna add some house vinaigrette.
Okay. Now I want you to know, to him this is much harder than it looks, right?
It is. So we mix it. I have leche de tigre. That's a Peruvian sauce.
What is it made out of?
Ginger, jalapeno, cilantro, strawberries, and raw salmon.
So it's going to be sweet and spicy at the same time?
Yes, correct.
Right?
And a little sour too.
And a little sour, everything.
So we're gonna put the sauce on the bottom. The mold. So we're gonna fill it up.
How long did it take you to come up with this dish?
Tried many times.
You tried like 100 different...
Yeah, many times.
Right.
took me like a month.
Is everything on your menu your own particular dish?
Yes.
Your own,
Yeah.
your own take on.
All my dishes, my recipes.
Was your family chefs? Did your family own restaurants?
My mom, my sisters.
They own
restaurants. They own restaurants
in Argentina.
Yeah. So.
Did you work there when you were a kid?
Yeah.
So you always knew this was what you were going to do.
Yeah.
What are you putting on this?
So
now?
this is the cream cheese right now.
Oh, cream cheese. Yeah. Like you would get on a bagel?
Yeah, the same one. Brown sugar.
We're not ready for fire yet. Brown sugar.
Yeah.
We're almost ready for fire. I guess I'm going off my diet today. There's no diet for me today.
Okay.
All right.
So now we're gonna touch. You wanna do it?
All right, I'll do it. I hope you haven't shown.
Yes.
Oh, this is easy.
Good.
Do you burn it till when? Till it just gets brown like that?
Correct.
And that's good, or am I burning it too much now?
Okay, we're good.
Okay, done. How do I shut this off? I don't want to burn the place down. There we go. All right.
All right. So we're gonna grab some strawberries.
Now, are you here cooking every day?
I spend my time between the 3 restaurants.
So you have 2 other restaurants?
Yeah.
Where are your other restaurants?
One is on the Upper East Side.
84th
Street and 2nd Avenue. Same restaurant.
Same restaurant. Wonderful. Which one was your first one? This one?
Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And how long have you been here in this place?
This one have 6 months, 7 months. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
All right.
Ready.
We're ready to eat?
Yep.
What'd you just put on top of it?
Olive oil and some green oil just for garnish.
Okay. Now I'm glad you cooked this and not me, because if I cooked it, I don't know if I would have eaten it. But because you cooked it, I think we're going to be okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's right now?
Yes. I'm really happy you cooked it, because I'm like, I'm not going to eat what I cook.
Ahead.
Let's see. It's really good. You got to try this. I'm telling you, it's really, really good. You know what? Go get your own. I'm eating this. This is great. Fabulous.
Good.
Excellent. Thank you. That's
you.
great. So Victor, I just finished cooking with Chef Carlos. We made this beautiful salmon cream cheese. He even let me burn it on top. It was fabulous.
It
was great. I actually thought it was
You have the skills, by the way.
I have no skills. I'm a good lawyer. That's as far as we go. You met Chef Carlos when?
We met 8 years ago. I met Victor, my partner, my business partner, working on the same place on a Mexican restaurant here in New York City.
And he was working there as well?
Yeah, he was the general manager, and I was the chef.
Whose idea was it for this restaurant?
We always thinking to do something very different, Latin American cuisine. I mean, he has skills from Europe, his background. He's from Argentina. So we were thinking to mixing ideas.
Because you have that, Argentinian, Latin American. We cooked a little bit with Peruvian sauce.
Yeah, Peruvian, Argentinian food, Peruvian food, Mexican, Colombian, Brazilian. There's a little bit of everything from South America and Central America too.
So you're originally from Mexico?
I am.
Okay, so when did you come to the United States of America?
It was 1992. It was 19 years old.
You just ran across the border?
Yes.
Like everybody
Like
else,
everybody
right?
else.
Right.
It was
easy then, right?
Easy
No
then.
walls, no
walls,
Trump, no.
nothing.
Right. And how long did you stay?
I stayed for 4 years. So I came here 2000. United States don't ask to Argentina for visa.
Okay, so you came on. You came on the 90-day visa waiver.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. And you got your green card.
Yes. Started as a dishwasher first.
Which is nothing that you did back in Argentina. You were a chef back in Argentina.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I started learning the language. I changed my job. That's why my first job was a dishwasher, because I cannot speak any English. Started moving up, prep cook, line cook. My second job is as a cook.
It's an amazing story that you went from dishwasher, never spoke a word of English, to where you are now.
Before I was working with the manager of the restaurant, this gentleman, he owns a restaurant now. He hired me. I started with him as a busboy, runner. I mean, he had a great skills of management.
He taught you how to run the restaurant. He taught you the restaurant business.
One of his customers, people that I met, Paul Newman was there.
The actor.
Woody Allen. Yeah, that was one of the
regulars. Right.
So I didn't know much English, so I never had a conversation with them. I learned part of, like New York City scene. I mean, it was a beautiful restaurant, 92nd Madison Avenue. I was working with that gentleman for a couple of years.
So how did you raise all the money to open up all these beautiful restaurants, or did you just save all this money?
Yeah, saving.
From savings, from washing dishes and line cooks, and you just saved and saved and saved. And then the two of you put your money together and opened up your first restaurant.
Exactly, correct.
They say, more than half restaurants fail after 6 months. Were you scared to open up, that you took all your life savings?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But you have to take the risk, You can lose everything, you can lose, you're afraid of that, but also you had the courage and believe in your partner and believe in the project. The first one was very successful, and then we had the opportunity to open the second location.
And have your parents come to visit you here and see the success?
Yeah.
They're proud of you?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah? So you feel you've reached your American dream?
I'm living the American dream. I am very happy. So I am living the dream right now.
You're living the dream now.
Yeah.
You have 3 beautiful restaurants, but you worked very, very hard for it. Nothing is given to you on a silver platter here. Everything you did, from being a busboy to now owning 3 restaurants, you are the American dream.
Well, it was days that, working as a manager, I never wanted to walk in the restaurant because I didn't have the skills. Growing up, doing, my first job, I always care for the business. I always care for doing the cleaning, like do the little things that, nobody saw. And obviously, the owner
recognize
that. So I will recognize that.
Right.
Like, I will help. You have to push yourself too, You can be the best plumber, the best carpenter, but I think that's, it's about you. Working hard, you gotta want it.
You gotta
so
want it.
That's, rule number 1.
Thank you very much for having us at your restaurant. It's beautiful, and you really did a wonderful job. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks again for coming on
You're
the
welcome.
show. All right, there you got it. Cooking with Brad. I am sorry, former Vikisha Taylor. That was cooking. She said, "That's not cooking, Brad." I'm watching these comments.
It's kind of cooking.
Right.
I feel like it's definitely, you
Right.
did the torch, you burnt sugar, you
I
changed
cooked.
something from
I
one
watched.
thing to another.
I
think that's
watched.
cooking.
I was cooking. We cooked. There was food that I ate that was ingredients put together.
And that you helped put them together.
Correct.
I like it.
Correct. and of course, Chef Sean was a great, beautiful story also. He came from St. Lucia. It was a beautiful story. I like that story as well. All right, so right now we're going to end our show. Not end it at this moment, but we're going to have the big finale of Social Media Check-In with Belgium Kim with Social Media Check-In. Here's La Pulperia restaurant in Midtown Manhattan.
We could do that again. All just in the background.
In the background.
And then we can do live commentary about it, Brad.
Live commentary in the background.
And this is the part where Brad almost burned a restaurant down.
That's right. That would have been funny.
That's how we should rerun them.
Not bad. All right. So what do you got?
So we've got our first question from Jay, and Jay says that my computer is freezing, so it is not showing up. We have one question that's talking about a medical exam. It's actually similar to a question we just had. Her medical was 6 months ago, though, and now she's worried that it's going to be out by the time that her interview actually rolls around. What should she do?
Nothing. The medical's good for a year. See what happens.
We've got
see what happens.
just see what happens.
Yeah.
Jay wants to know, if my dad is sick and not getting anything from the government in terms of assistance or anything, I'm out of status, could I go ahead and work on my dad's Social Security card?
He asked this yesterday.
He
it's
did,
called
and he
Social
did.
Security fraud. You cannot do that. You're asking. It's like saying, "Hey, Brad, listen, I don't got any money. Is it okay if I rob the bank?"
Well,
no, you can't do that.
And that's a fair question. Can you rob a bank if you don't have any
if
money?
you want to commit a crime.
Okay, I don't want to commit a crime. I really like not committing crimes on a daily
Broadcast
basis.
was interrupted again.
I see that.
I see that. Oh man. Oh man.
And
now we're back.
There it is. Now we're back.
And now we're
back.
Yeah.
Mackie wants to know, I have H1. I'm assuming that's an H1 visa. What do I need to apply for a green card or permanent residency or become a visa independent in applying?
All right. You have an H-1B visa. You have an employer. You're working in some sort of professional position. You need to do a perm application. You have to ask your employer to file a perm application. You got to prove you're not taking a job away from an American worker. They're going to run advertisements in the newspaper. The company has to be able to show they can afford to pay your salary, offer you a job. The process is generally student visa, then optional practical training, then H-1B, then do a perm to get your green card. That would be the process that you would go through.
Christopher says, what's the minimum wage to apply for an adjustment for 3 people in a household?
The minimum wage.
Right, so I'm assuming it's what's the least amount you could be making in order to be to.
All right, so I need you to get your calculator out again, Kim.
Whew, okay, calculator is out.
20,780.
20,780
times 1.25.
Times 1.25 is a grand total of, sorry, my brain doesn't work that quickly, $25,975.
And while Kim is doing all of this, and I do see that we are getting interrupted on the Spar Bernstein page, I would ask Carrie or somebody in the booth to give a little note that our feed on the Bradshaw Live page seems to be going perfectly fine. So if you want to watch uninterrupted, just switch over to Bradshaw Live.
Yep. We've got another question from Chona. Chona says, oh my God, my computer is freezing. I think that it might be just all electronics, period.
All electronics.
Yeah, I think
maybe it's like one of those that we're like just we're being invaded, and like
War of the Worlds type of situation.
Yeah, could be.
It'd be interesting. I would request an early end to the show if the world is being taken over by aliens right now.
No, we will not have an early end to the show. We will be answering everybody's questions
for
whether aliens are coming or not.
Chona wants to know, how about if your kid is 20 years old and single when you file the petition, but she's turning 21 in a few months? How long is that going to end up taking to approve, and is the fact that she's turning 21 going to put her in a lower category?
It will put her in a lower category unless you're a citizen before her 21st birthday, and then she's going to wait 7 years. If you're a citizen, then it won't have any effect as long as you become a citizen before she's 21.
Claudia says, my fiance works at a restaurant and he gets paid by check. He's been employed from this company for a year now and the checks bounce frequently. He does, and apparently the owner does it to all the workers, especially the ones that are undocumented. Is there any kind of recourse that can be done?
Yes. Sue the employer. Just because you're undocumented doesn't mean you're not entitled to get paid for the work that you do.
Singh says, if you have a police report for an aggravated harassment against someone and they write immigration about you, what would happen?
The immigration will get a nice letter about you. I mean, the odds that immigration is going to come and do anything because someone writes a letter is very, very small. We can never discount it now in these days, but I wouldn't overly worry about it. And by the way, Lisa Bling-Rose says it is Friday the 13th today, which I did not realize.
It is. That's right.
We should have started our show that this is Friday the 13th.
And
had like a whole horror theme.
That would be terrible.
It would not be terrible. It would be really, really, would have been very, very enjoyable. Ooh, Friday the 13th.
Yeah. I gotta be honest.
Like one of those type of things.
I get very scared of all scary movies and things like that. Like right now, A Quiet Place is out in theaters and I'm dying to see that, but I can't unless I have someone I can go to hide my face behind for the majority of the movie.
That something's going to happen to you because you're in that movie? You're in the movie theater?
Like The Grudge, that little ghost girl was going to get me for forever. I'm still afraid of that little ghost girl.
It's just a little movie, okay? It's make-believe.
I don't like it. I don't like it not one bit.
Right.
Anything supernatural, anything, no.
All right, what else we got?
Denise wants to know, my husband petitioned for me with a priority date of March 2017. I just received my interview date for May 9th. Should I go ahead and do a new medical? I filed for an adjustment of status. 'Tis medical day. Yesterday was U-Visa day.
How long has it been?
It's it was filed in March of 2017
do medical because you're over a year. So and really what you should be doing now for everybody who's filing adjustment applications, because these adjustments are now taking more than a year to complete. Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Right.
AKA Orange Guy. AKA the former president who will eventually be in jail guy.
Crossing my fingers.
Everyone who's taking doing an adjustment, hold off on the medical until the time of the interview. Now that's different advice than I used to give, but I used to give that advice because the adjustment was taking less than a year. I would say file with the medical. Now what I'm telling you, because the adjustment's taking more than a year, hold off on filing the medical. Bring it to your interview. That way you don't have to do it twice, because these are the questions we're getting now time and time again. Everyone's getting caught having to do a second medical. The only people who are benefiting is the doctors, because you have to go pay them twice.
Opal wants to know, my friend did her biometric in September and we have still not gotten a work permit. What should she do?
Call me, because obviously there's a huge problem. It's now March or April.
Right.
I don't even know where we are. April.
April 13th.
September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 8 months. Should have gotten it after 4. If you don't have your work permit after 4 months, you should be calling me. Quite frankly, you should have been calling me from the beginning. But you have no excuse after 4 months.
Dorel says, is it possible to file for my husband's disabled son who's currently overseas? He is 23 years old.
Yes, as long as you're a citizen or resident. If you're a citizen, then I assume he's single. And you had to have married your husband before he turned 18. Because then that would make you the stepmom. If you married your husband after he turned 18, then you would be unable to file for the disabled son.
Salvador wants to know, could I file for my citizenship? I came here on a fiancé visa in February of 2015, and I ask because my Filipino passport is about to expire in January of next year.
What about a green card? When did you get your green card? And then I can tell you when you can do your citizenship.
Baby Tash says, oh, this is Tash Anderson from YouTube.
Who's Tash Anderson from YouTube?
Tash Anderson used to watch us on YouTube all the time, and then when we got off YouTube because we're playing nice.
Right, because you can't have the same
do both.
thing. You can't. It's like saying, you know what? We're going to put Bradshaw Live both on NBC and ABC.
Right.
Okay. NBC and ABC wouldn't want the same show.
Right.
So we had to pick a channel.
Bradshaw Live sponsored by Coke and Pepsi. That would be not great.
No, that wouldn't be great.
That would be not good at all.
Good
I
at
don't
all.
think
Right.
that they would be into that.
No.
Baby Tash, welcome back, says, I'm from Jamaica and I just want to know, how long can you stay in the U.S. on a visitor's visa?
Well, as long as what they tell you at the airport, if they don't say anything to you, then assume 6 months.
Lawrence says, if you have an ongoing criminal case in Wisconsin, you have a possession of cocaine for 3 grams, could you go ahead and send in your papers to immigration to change your status for a green card while waiting for the results of the case?
No, because 1, they're not going to process you while you have a pending case. You won't even get a work permit. Number 2, you're alerting immigration to the fact that you may be a deportable alien as soon as you're found guilty of possession of cocaine. Number 3, you can't get a green card if you're found guilty of possession of cocaine. You should be fighting your criminal case out and not doing anything with immigration at the moment. So it's, by the way, I don't like when I hear waiting for the results. Mm-hmm. No, it's called fighting your case. That's what you should be doing.
Janine says, my husband has a son who's an American citizen, and his son also has a good job. My husband is already here in the U.S. Is it possible to go ahead and petition for his son to petition for him by not sending my husband back to the Philippines? Some lawyer told her.
I'm lost on this.
So what she's asking is, Dad is already here, seemingly out of status. Son wants to file for Dad, but they'd like to do it in a way that Dad does not have to go back to the Philippines. Some lawyer that they talked to said that he definitely has to go back to the Philippines and wait for the approval of the petition, which obviously could take years and years. What does he do?
None of this makes sense. All right. If your dad came on a visa, he can adjust his status here if you're 21 and a U.S. citizen. End of story. If your dad goes home without a provisional waiver, he's not coming back for 10 years if he overstayed on his visa. End of story.
You're always creepy when you do that, Brad. It's so dangerous.
All right, continue. I just realized my hand was getting in your shot.
Every once in a while, but that's okay. I'll share my shot, Brad.
Thank you.
Jay says, if I'm out of status and applying for a job, is it okay for them to do a background check on me? I currently have a pending application.
Yeah, no problem. Do the background check. Tell them to knock their socks off.
Ooh, that's right. Do my background check and I'm going to pass that thing with flying colors. Marie says, I've got a cousin from Venezuela. She's living in Costa Rica since her husband was sponsored for work there. They don't want to go back to Venezuela because of the horrible living conditions and the political upheaval going on there. She wants to move her entire family to the United States. They have 2 very small children. Is that a good case for asylum, you think?
No. You can't file asylum Because all you described was, it's a dangerous place. In order to file for asylum, you have to be able to prove that you are a member of a group, a social group. Okay? Social group could be moms. Social group could be whatever political party. Could be people, certain religion, certain race, certain sexual orientation, whatever it may be. Farmers. I've seen farmers apply for political asylum.
Okay.
So whatever your social group is, figure out what your social group is, and then be able to prove that everybody in this social group is being persecuted. Now, if the entire country is just living in fear and bullets are flying over your head, that's not political asylum. You're living in a dangerous place.
That's really interesting. I don't think I knew that, Brad. Mary Lou says, what should we do if the green card holder left in the U.S. and stayed more than 4 years in the Philippines until her green card expired because she needed to take care of her parents, and that's why she went back? Mm-hmm. Is there any way that she can get back to the U.S.?
Well, you can apply. Well, she gave up her green card, but she could apply for something called an SB1 visa and show that she had a good reason for staying in the Philippines, and she has a lot of ties to the United States, whether it's family, property, job still waiting for her, whatever her ties are to the United States, and she really did not intend to abandon her permanent residence. It's the longer you're out of the country, the harder it is to get. They should be contacting us so we can help her.
Priyad says, my category is F2A. Do I need an approval of my I-130 petition in order to go ahead and file the affidavit of support since my priority date is current?
Wait a second.
Yeah.
You should have an approved. Her case is approved, but she doesn't have. She lost the approval letter?
No, it just says
or her case is pending and it's never been approved by immigration.
So that's what it seems to be, is that her case is still pending, but on the website it's showing that her priority date is current. So is she going to wait on the approval letter to file the affidavit of support, or does she?
Yes, she has to wait on the approval. You have to wait on the approval letter. Now, if you're in legal status here and your case is pending and the priority date is current, perhaps you could file an adjustment now. But, I need to know more about, it's odd. It is very odd to me that you would have filed an I-130 as an F2A. They have not approved it, and the priority date is now current. So I would think that maybe you're reading something wrong is my guess.
Rogers says, I'm a U.S. citizen and want to bring my grandchildren here who are all below 10 years old. How do I do this?
What are you bringing them here to do? You want them to live with you?
I think he wants them to live with him, absolutely.
All right, well, then hopefully they're orphans, or they live in a country that signed the Hague Convention with the United States, because other than that, you can't get them here. Or you can file for their parents and include them on the case, and eventually they'll all come, but that's like 7-8 years down the line.
Oh, man. See, I don't go ooh when you give bad news.
Yeah, no ooh there.
No ooh there.
No, I haven't heard an ooh in the last 20 minutes.
Because these have been sad answers for the most part, Brad.
Yes, well, I answer as I hear them, I'm not in the happy, sad business. I'm telling the truth business.
And I appreciate that about you. You'll just get a different reaction depending on how you answer it.
All right, we have time for 2 more questions.
And I have 2 more questions.
That's all you have left?
That's literally exactly what I have left. Cheater. Jean wants to know, how do you return to the U.S. with a green card after 2 years outside the country?
Again, Jean, it's the SB1 visa. You have to show you have ties here. Don't stay out of the country if you're going to leave. Here's a good rule, okay? Don't leave the United States. Well, I'll give you 2 good rules. Okay. 1, don't leave the United States if you don't want to abandon your permanent residence without a reentry permit if you plan on staying out of the country for more than 6 months. Okay. There is an SB1 visa. The other thing I could have mentioned is if you just want to return just for a visit, you can always go to the U.S. Embassy and they'll give you a visitor's visa to come back, because to get a visitor's visa, you have to prove you don't intend to live in America. And what better proof is there that you don't intend to live in America than I had a green card and I haven't been living in America? I like that close-up.
I was going to...
That close... That close... This one! I like that one. All All right. That's screwing with me there. And, what's
my
the last
favorite
question?
is this one. So our last is actually a follow-up from Salvador. He had asked if he can file for his citizenship when he came for a fiancé visa in 2015. He actually received his green card in 2016. And so
Is he still married to the woman?
We don't know. He said he already filed and renewed his green card last December. He's just waiting on the biometric and the interview for the green card renewal.
Well, if he's been a permanent resident for more than 2 years, 9 months, and 3 days, yes, he can file for his citizenship from the time that he got his conditional green card. But it was 2016. I don't think he's 2 years, 9 months, 3 days, because we're only in 3 to 4 months into 2018 already.
Yeah, but he got his in March of 2016. So
so then he can't. No, so it's going to be January 2019.
And that's when his Filipino passport expires. So what does he do?
Go renew your Filipino passport.
Okay.
All right, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday. It is almost 7:30, and we have been dying all show. I have been dying all show. Okay, I have been on the edge of my seat I have been on the edge of my seat.
You have been on the edge. That I did know.
On the edge of my seat. Okay, Belgium Kim.
Yes, Brad.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
Comments of the day.
Comments of the day. They were extra funny today because we had Jackie who said, Brad, are you married? I can cook real well. And then, of course, Denisha wasn't here today, but she would have jumped on that.
I am not married. I'm divorced.
Looking for the next Mrs. Bernstein.
Yes.
But Jackie's been pleading her case up and down the comments.
Okay. All right.
She's on the hunt.
Jackie's on the hunt.
Jackie's on the hunt.
All right.
It's Jackie Everblessed Harmer. Oh. So I don't know how you feel about that. The Everblessed is good. Harmer seems scary.
Sounds like a great name, Jackie Everblessed Harmer Bernstein.
Bernstein. Oh, that's beautiful.
It's a beautiful name.
Denisha John is having an aneurysm somewhere.
Sorry, Denisha.
Marsha, in response to, we had a lot of crazy calls today. About just, and lots of crazy questions. And so when the comments got a little heated in terms of how do we escape from this crazy ex-girlfriend, Marsha said, Brad doesn't run a health department, people.
That's true. I saw that one. That was
It's
funny.
not a mental health department. Angie Angel had a really good question, a really good suggestion about how we go with Sam now. She said, I like Groundhog Sam way more when he's typing. His voice gives me a headache.
Wow! Not like Groundhog Sam. Groundhog Sam is going to have probably something to say to her on Monday.
Yes, I have a feeling like Groundhog Sam is not going to take that lying down.
Yeah.
Jeff Bosey, always a comedian in the comments, he said, after I congratulated you and felt like you did a great job on the Spanish, he said, you follow right behind Bloomberg on the horrible pronunciation of Spanish words.
With that, thank you all for watching. We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And Belgium Kim, happy birthday to your mom.
Thanks. Yay. Happy birthday, Mom.
So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.